Hi. Bad. Or is it? Hi. I am Leah and this is my October reading video. Something hit me. I want to try some, I guess, cosplay. Read a lot of vampire stories, as you soon will see. So I kind of really got into the vampire vibe. I always wanted to taste blood. God, I can't keep a straight face. So, also makeup. I'm like almost fascinated by myself. I never see myself with this much makeup and I'm so white. But yeah. So, enough about me. Let's talk books. You saw maybe we have a lot of books. So, let's start with the first one. It was Carmilla. And it's one of the first vampire stories. Gothic classic by, I don't know, Joseph Sheridan Fanu, I forgot. So, really cool story. I really enjoyed it. It's, as you can see, very tiny, short book. So it's definitely worth a read. So it's about, well, obviously a vampire. And it has like this kind of like, I don't want to give away too much. It's best if you just read it, not knowing too much about it. But what I really enjoyed about this vampire story in particular was that it kind of had a different vibe to it, a little bit slower, slow paced. Although, for example, Bram Stoker's Dracula, if you read that one, is also not the fastest one. But it had like this really kind of almost soft vibe to it, but very mysterious, and like it just very, very slowly unveiled itself, but still it was interesting enough to keep reading and not like, oh my god, like I want to know, because like things were constantly happening. And yes, for you as the reader and knowing that vampires exist, it's like easier to obviously figure it out and to know, okay, this is about a vampire. But yeah, it just felt kind of elegant. Elegant's a good word. It felt really elegant how they, how Joseph here did it, and I really enjoyed it, and also really enjoyed the ending. Yeah, not much more to say about this one without spoiling. So, Carmilla. And then I have Notebook. Maybe I'll put it something there. I read also Vampyre or Vampyre, or I'm not sure, you know, it's written with a Y, by, oh gosh, I should have been prepared. I will write it down. Polidori, something like that, the Italian guy who was with Mary Shelley and Percy Shelley and Lord Byron at Lord Byron's estate. And at the time when Mary Shelley actually wrote Frankenstein, they had like this little competition, if you will, that who can write the most scary story. Mr. Polidori, he wrote then Vampyre, or actually since then I've read a little bit more about this. I think so he took some ideas from Lord Byron and made them into a coherent story, and also had an inspiration of Lord Byron, the real life character himself, for his vampire in the story. So Vampyre, not sure how to pronounce. That story was also really cool to read. A little bit, I think longer, slightly longer, but also short than Carmilla, and very different vibe, very different story. So completely two separate stories, but both very enjoyable. And there it's more like we follow a human who encounters a strange gentleman that behaves in a weird way, and still everyone just loves him, and he's very elegant and like perfect and things like that. And so like even he himself becomes like interested in this gentleman and starts traveling with him, and then some strange stuff occurs, and also how he treats some females our protagonist isn't very happy about. And then stuff start, like, it's really cool because like he's almost like without saying too much and spoiling too much, like he's almost getting tortured by this vampire, and it goes downhill a lot, and then it goes up a little bit, then it comes crashing back down. And really cool story, like very, like, if I would have to pick, I would actually say this one was more exciting than Carmilla. Like I said, Carmilla was soft, elegant, more mystery kind of thing, and this one was really like the evil and a vampire can like be, and like if you are on the wrong side, yeah, not very good. So that was another one I read that one in a digital copy, so that's why I don't have a physical copy of it. And the next one that I read was the Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman, children's story, and didn't fully work for me, but I did enjoy what I'm trying to show. There were a lot of illustrations in this book, and especially is it the very first one, the first or second one? It's like really cool. So there's like this guy breaking into the house carrying a knife, and at this point you don't know what's going to happen, obviously. So it's the beginning of the story, but basically this is about a boy who so escapes this man that we just saw in the illustration. I think I can say that much. That happens like in the first page. And then but then like he as a baby crawls onto the graveyard, and then like ghosts notice the baby and are like, oh well, what should we do, there is no humans around. And so it happens that basically ghosts are taking in this baby, and then there's this creature that's not a ghost but also not living, so something in between, and it's like then appoint a guardian because he can go and get food, which ghosts can't do, and things like that. And so they like make their own little society for this boy, who then grows up in this graveyard, and we basically follow along his years, like when he's like a couple of years and then a little bit older and older and older. And so we follow along and how he grows up there and like how he interacts. And he's not allowed to leave the graveyard at first, but as kids are, they don't always listen, so stuff happens. And yeah, but so why it didn't really work for me, it was like a lot of extra stuff that nothing happened, and it kind of got somewhat boring. I hate to say that about a book, but it did, and I struggled quite a lot to get through. There were just too many things that was like, I don't know, maybe just meant as lessons or like some magical thing for kids that didn't somehow reach me. I don't know. Normally I like reading kids stories, I find them cute and wholesome and heartwarming, but I mean, obviously this wasn't like pure heartwarming, but it was also like, I mean, ghosts take care of a baby, that's so cute. But yeah, so I don't know, it just didn't fully work for me. And yeah, so that was that one, the Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman. The next one was exciting. This is Hangsaman by Shirley. Really weird title, in my opinion. At least for me, I haven't really heard that. So Hangsaman is about a young girl who's just, when we start the story, she's just about to go to college and then live not at home anymore. She has like a somewhat comfortable home. They're not like super rich, but they're doing fine. And so we start at a summer sort of party that her dad has organized, and some of his friends and colleagues and stuff are coming over for dinner. And she's like starting to be like this young lady and greeting the guests and things like that. And this is when does it take place? I don't fully remember. I don't even know if it does say it, but I think it's like 40s, 50s, so something like that. I'm trying to see if they say it somewhere. So come on. Maybe I cut out some bits. No, I was like hoping in the year of da or something like that. No, they don't mention it. So anyway, so Natalie, our girl, is young adult, 18 and 19, I assume. I'm not, or 17, somewhere there, not over 20. I strongly believe. And so yeah, and it's kind of strange. So Natalie is like, her mind is pretty wild and you are in her head. And so, for example, even when we are in this summer party at the very start, in her own head she starts like having this interrogation of a like a policeman is interrogating her for a murder just inside her head, and it's like spiked in between conversations. Before she like answers the conversation, she like answers maybe the policeman in her head, and then she continues the conversation that is actually happened. It's very interesting. So she's supposed to be very smart, or she's very smart. Her dad is an author, and is also like in a way like really like teaching her, and like so every once a week she has to go to him and show him her newest writings, and he will judge her, not necessarily also in a very good way, because we can read from her like she's really sort of like not maybe scared of the meeting, but no, she is kind of scared. And she really wants to not disappoint him and things like that. And so then we follow her, like how is it for her then to suddenly be alone and having to take care of herself, living on her own at the college and things like that. And we follow her as she starts there, and then like how she like adjusts, and she's like in this female house, and like even on the first night they all have to gather and the new people have to answer questions, and she's like, I'm not answering, and like so she didn't exactly make friends, and she's like socially awkward. And then she meets this one teacher, or the wife of a teacher, and gets like acquainted with her, and then through that also gets more closer to the teacher, who's the literature or English writing guy as well. And then it's very difficult to explain without spoiling it. So it's a very psychological story. Like it's a lot about what's in her head, what is actually happening, and then the things she's thinking behind that. So you're constantly like in her head, and it with time you can see like that she's struggling a lot, that she's like identity struggle, and like also having to live up to standards, that kind of struggle. And there's also something that happened at that summer party that is like a trauma that stays with her. So there is trigger warnings for this, careful on that one, so check those first. It's nothing is like very graphically written, I can say that much. So it's done quite subtle, but you still understand what happened. And for me, that's the preferred way. I don't want the graphical details if something terrible happens. So and then so we're following her, and like how her mental life develops, I guess, or crumbles, or in whichever direction it goes. You will have to read. So it's, to me, this was it's not an easy read, because there are also these sequences like when you're not sure anymore, is this actually happening or is this in her mind? so it also goes into that kind of spectrum. But it was a very interesting read. I would definitely recommend it, but be ready, like I said, some trigger warnings. And also be ready that you might need to reread certain pages, because it's like, what the hell happened? Like, it was kind of, I even asked like my American friends, like, am I not understanding the English correctly, or what is happening here? But she told me, no, it's meant to be like confusing and things like that. So just be aware of those things. But other than that, I thought it was fantastic. Like once I was done, I was like that psychological journey that we went on with Natalie is so interesting. It's like, and it's so well done, it's so believable. And so that's Hangsaman by Shirley Jackson. And also I love Shirley Jackson. It's my second or third Shirley, I think. And I will continue. I know she wrote The Haunting of Hill House. I've seen the Netflix series, but I have to read the book. And I will at some point. So for now, that's this one. Oh god, this video is never gonna end. Next up we have The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, I think. Yeah, it's Angela Carter because it just says Vintage Carter here. That's the vintage books, like the way they do it. It is Angela Carter. Yes. Okay. Good. Just wanted to confirm that. So this is a like not really retelling or like reimagining of like Grimm fairy tales and other fairy tales, and made them dark. So turning them into dark stories. So it was interesting. So some of this, it's a collection of short stories of these fairy tales and made them dark. So some of them worked well, but I would actually, unfortunately, have to say the majority was too much for me. I don't know. It was like there was a lot of very graphical imagery here, which was fine-ish, but also not. So I will just say one thing without really spoiling any of the particular stories, but there is like a young woman magicked into being, and then and there's a couple riding, and then the man almost falls immediately in love with her, and so the wife is jealous and tricks her to die, and then he basically rapes her corpse. And I'm just like, okay, what? What? Why is that enjoyable to read? I don't get it. I guess I did spoil now one story, sort of. Yeah, whatever. So, and that, yeah, and some stuff like that, there is like too much, like, sex is applied too fast, too brutal. I guess, in many of these stories. Maybe that's the me problem, I don't know. I don't enjoy reading those. Even consented, but also strangely awkward. So it was just awkward and uncomfortable. But I will say, the very first short story that is called The Bloody Chamber, which is a retelling of Bluebeard, if you know the story of Bluebeard, that's already dark from the beginning. That one was fantastic, and also the prose, or like the language in general in this book, fantastic. Oh my god, Angela Carter writes beautifully. Like, I love that, so I hated that I was uncomfortable. But like the things that I read was like, no, I didn't need that. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's The Bloody Chamber. So a win and a lose. And then the last two books that I read, yes, I read both, were the very last two Expanse books. We have Tiamat's Wrath and Leviathan Falls, James S.A. Corey, the team. I'm not sure if I ever even specifically mentioned that, but I am aware it's two authors writing these. So yes, so finishing the last Expanse book, I'm happy and I'm sad at the same time. It's over. I wrote like 2 weeks or something, or I don't know exactly anymore. After I was done with number 9, I wrote to my friends like, I just realized I'm done with the Expanse. Like, it took a really long time for that to truly kick in. But yeah, so let's start with then Tiamat's Wrath, book number 8. So, oh shit, this will be difficult. So in 7, shit happened, a lot of shit. We have a new power that like basically is taking over everything, like a la Star Wars Empire a little bit, I guess. It's a good analogy. And we basically lost in 7, more or less. Or no, we did lose. And so in 8 we continue that, and our dear Rocky team is split up. They're trying to like fight against that huge power, but yeah, they really control everything. So they're like have to go underground. They have like to smuggle themselves in containers, in cargo ships, and they have like that one huge battleship that they managed to steal. That was the one good thing in 7. I guess spoiler for 7. Oops. Maybe I'll bleep that. that they need to hide, and so basically we're following them, how they try to organize, how they try to fight back. And at the same time we also start in this one, right, we start to get Teresa's POV, don't we? It's like, because I read them both right after one another. No, I'm not 100% sure anymore which was which, but we are definitely also, like, we have the POV from that new power that came in. Oh gosh, do I really not manage it? Maybe I am wrong. And Teresa comes in book 9 only, but I thought she was also in book. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep scrolling until there. No, she is also in book 8. Okay, good. So Teresa is the daughter of a really important person, and so we see like their perspective, someone having grown up, and yeah, fully like being sort of behind the idea. That's like, what we're doing is good, it's for the betterment of human people. So trying to add some conflict in, like, were they right? Like, was it too messy before? And but also taking away freedom from people and basically being authoritarian, yeah, kind of government. And I mean, for me, it was never a question. It's like, you can't just come and tell everyone now they need to listen to you, and give them the illusion of freedom and the illusion, like, yeah, you can elect your own people, but also you do have to follow every word that our king says. This kind of thing, or emperor rather. So for me, like, it wasn't really a question as, are they right? Like, maybe they are. I never really questioned that, but it was still interesting to get like her perspective. In the beginning I was a little bit I'm not sure that will work for me. Like, I don't really care. I just want my dear team to be back together, and I just want things to go well. But yeah, but I was wrong. It was very enjoyable to read from her perspective, and also very interesting because, like, she didn't have a normal upbringing, shall we say. I can't really say much. And so yeah, so we have like the perspective from hiding and trying to fight against, with like these small skirmishes. And then yeah, James Holden, our main super duper guy, he's not in a good position, and so you're also a little bit with him, but not too much, because he can't do much. But he's interacting with Teresa, for example, which is also very interesting, and doing some stuff that are very interesting, which we get more clarity in book 9 later. So oh god, this is so difficult. But anyway, so we are fighting against this empire, but also we can't openly do it. It was very, very interesting. I really, really enjoyed this book, and in particular the ending. It made me so happy. We didn't defeat the empire, if you're thinking that. No. not that much, but yeah, I don't want to obviously spoil it, but some good stuff happened, so giving us just a sliver of hope back that maybe they're not so undefeatable, which they are, especially in 7. So maybe there is some hope. So that is, but also there is another extra thread coming against everyone, even this super powerful power that can't really do anything against it. So it's like the stakes are getting higher and higher. So that was like sort of, yeah, book 8. It's so difficult to not spoil anything. I loved it. I enjoyed it. 5 stars, not even a question. Like, this series, I had, for me, 1 dot. I wonder if I would read it now, if it would bug me less knowing where it's going. There was this one character that really annoyed me though. But anyhow, maybe. But this one, loved it, so good. So that was number 8, and number 9 in the Expanse, the final in this series. Yeah, difficult. I wish I could openly talk about what actually happened, which obviously I can't. So I enjoy, like, in general, let's start with the general things. I did enjoy it, and it's a good book. But so let's just say, so like I said, so towards the end of book 8, stuff started looking a little bit brighter again. And we still have to like not hide anymore. We still have to be careful. We're still like hunted, and the Rocinante is like trying its best, but then there is this extra thread, which is the aliens that we had from Unlit Book 1, sort of. They're like, alien power has always been hinted at, they've always been in the picture, and there've always been things that we don't fully understand, like the gate that suddenly appeared and things like that. And here we're like the most enjoyable part was Elfie is one of the characters. She is in book 4, I think. I believe now it's so difficult. Before I was pretty good at knowing this is in 1, this is in 2. I think it's in 4. She's a scientist, and she was like then the expert on the alien technology that we have found, but without the aliens being alive. But so something had killed them, and so we're figuring a lot more out on what happened there, and that was just really interesting and also kind of crazy. There's some really like big shit going on that's like very difficult to believe. I don't know how else to say it without spoiling. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and also poor James. We're a lot of James because he can do much, like I said in the previous book, but here he has more agency again, and we feel what he had gone through, and we're with him, and I feel so sorry for him. I just want to like go into the book and hug him. And so yeah, but the ending to me, it just kind of put a sour taste on it, honestly. It's not like a bad ending. It's, I guess, if you will, it is a sort of bittersweet ending, I guess would be a good way to place it. It's just what actually happened, I'm just like not very happy with. And I think I will add a spoiler section. So after, I will also put some spoiler, I guess, like text and stuff around me, something, so you'll know. So spoilers from now. So in the end, we are at the alien station in the ring space, or the slow zone, and basically trying to stop the delirious Duarte. And so we have James and Teresa going there because James injected himself with the protomolecule in order to be able to get the vision or the incarnation or whatever you want to call it of Miller back. So that was cool. Like, that was really cool. So far, I'm still on board. And that was very exciting. Then we go into we finally managed to open that alien station because Duarte kept it close to us, so we couldn't stop him from making all humans into one single mind, and taking away everyone's free will and all that jazz. And so we finally get access. Also, we have, oh God, what's her name? The lady, the crazy woman. It's been only like 2-3 weeks since I read it, so Tanaka, god damn it. We also have the crazy Tanaka with us, which she was actually interesting to read, even though I hated her. But I hated her in a good way. Like, she was a good character, very understandable, but I hated her. Well, another nitpick, and now that I am in the spoiler section, I guess I can say it. She was a bit OP. She was too OP. Like, she should have died. I mean, like, she had more plot armor than. I mean, obviously, the Rocky crew throughout those 9 books had plot armor. Yes, I agree. I had the discussion with a friend. but that woman, she's just in this one book, and she. Or no, actually not. We have heard at least a name, but she has been more in the background. But anyway, she's like proper in this story, and she should have died several times, and she just doesn't die. And I don't know, it slightly annoyed me, but I could swallow it. Like, it wasn't too extremely bad, if you will. It was still okay. I roll. Let's continue. I can live with it. Anyway, the ending. So we finally get access to the alien station. Miller helping us, because like Miller has been incorporated into protomolecule, so he was still there. and when James injected himself, like he could communicate. Like that was really cool. I love that. Like, hey, we're going back all the way to book 1. That was fantastic. But anyway, next nitpick that I had, being in the station, it took forever just to find the ward. Like, that's fine, but you can like write to me. It took very long time, and they had to turn around. But to me, it felt like I had to read for 2 days just to reach the point where they finally find him. And at that point, I was so interested in what's gonna happen. Like, I was so close to like speed read and just read every like 3rd or 4th sentence just to get to the point when we finally find him, because I didn't do it in the end, but I was so close because I was so annoyed. I was like, come on guys, like climax is good and rush climax are bad, yes, I get it, but it was too effing slow. Nothing happened. They just walked through corridors. And then at some point there's this one sentinel, but they immediately, like, James through Miller can turn it off. And then again, it's just walking and walking and walking and changing walls and stuff. And I was just like, oh, can we get to the finale, please? So that was also one thing. And then, well, long story short, eventually we defeat Duarte. Tanaka is, I have to say, a badass. She's actually the one managing to take him out eventually. And which is really cool, because you hate her. She tries to kill James on several occasions, and like many times you are in her POV, so you know that once like Duarte is dealt with, she meant to kill James, but then it never got to that because she had to give her all to kill her. So that was just brilliant. I love that. And then basically, so what happens is that these other super goth or super aliens or whatever that have also killed the creators of this proto-molecule, this alien technology that we've been using have been in contact with since book 1. They basically are about to just kill everyone through, I don't exactly know, like through like frying our minds or something. And Duarte had been stopping that, but at the same time he felt like what he's doing is the best thing, that everyone becomes one mind, and so there will never be any struggle and everyone will always agree. But yeah, you're just a husk, a flesh that has no will and no mind of its own anymore. Like ants, I think was the analogy that they used in the book themselves. So once then Duarte is dealt with and we stop that bullshit from happening, then the threat of the aliens is still there that are about to just wipe out every single human in existence. And so they have to stop that. So James is there, and James is taking the sacrifice. So like he inserts himself to this alien machine, and he's not as powerful as Duarte, so he can't. And then also it annoys me, like for a sentence he's thinking like, oh, Duarte wasn't so wrong, this is beautiful, everyone agreeing. I was just like, really? Are you kidding me? Like how could that ever be the nice, beautiful solution to not be a human being essentially anymore? Anyway, so yeah, so he is in the machine, and like the best that he can do with his control with the proto-molecule, and also the help of Miller, I guess, in a sense, is to basically, because these aliens, they're in between the ring spaces, is to basically just shut everything down and close them off and make it not possible for them to reach us anymore. And so he's warning everyone, get out of the ring space, and go to a place, and then you will stay there because everything will be gone. There will be no more ring gates, and there will be no more travel between the different worlds. That's it, you're there, the end. And that is then what happens. That in itself is already like kind of like so long now we've been talking about how can we make these so many worlds work, like what kind of government do you need, what kind of control, what kind of agreements and things like that. And that was very interesting to me, only to now just like okay, let's just stop it. It doesn't exist anymore. So that was not like my preferred one. Him sacrificing, I kind of saw it coming. I even wrote it to my friend, I just hope he makes it, but at the same time I kind of, like the moment he injected that proto-molecule, it was like, yeah, it was pretty clear what's gonna happen. I still had hope though, because I'm a hopeless romantic. So that happens, and I think that still was kind of fine. Like I said, not maybe my super preferred one, but not something that would steal a star or two. I think I gave it 3 stars, 3.5, by the way. What really did that for me, what made it really like a really such a bad ending to me, was like what happens after. So he obviously tells everyone get out and so on, like I said, and so the Rocinante is about to go to Sol, the Sol system, back to where they all are from. But then Alex, the pilot, he has a kid by now, and his kid just during this book moved out of Sol into one of the other worlds. So not only are we losing all the worlds, we split up the Rocky crew. After 9 books, you ended by telling me this found family, not only do they lose James, they also split up. And the Rocky is no more. Like, anyway, they were old and stuff. Like, I know, but so let it rot in a garage and get old. Like, I just wanted something for the team, something for the found family. But we didn't get that. So that's the thing. They have to change ship, la-di-da, whatever. And so Alex goes away, the others go to Sol. That annoyed me. Again, I guess I could have lived with that. But then comes an epilogue, which really kind of puts the bitterness into this whole thing for me, which were then, I don't know, I think it says millennia later. Like literally like uncountable years, and we're in a POV of someone just landing on Earth and like commenting there's nothing much there, like the whole Sol system is basically quiet, there are no spaceships, so everything went to shit apparently. Yay, thank you. So even though like we don't have the complexity anymore of having to organize, what was it, 1300 worlds, and have so many different factions, and yeah, and then I guess wars would have been inevitable and shit like that. So even though we were just Sol and other systems were just their system, everything went to shit, it's all dead. And this is apparently the first time that someone from another system managed to light speed travel or something like that. I think it took them, was it hours or minutes? I don't now fully remember, but like doable. But if they would go back, it would be like 20 or 40 years later. So like all those people that were on that journey, they basically had to say goodbye to their family. So they're young as they landed in Sol, but everyone back home wouldn't be, something like that. So like that, the distance has consequence basically. It's not just like basically light speed as we have it in Star Wars, where if you are somewhere within an hour, then that's what passed, just 1 hour. Yeah, which didn't work here. So you don't jump through space, you literally have to go the whole distance. And yeah, so this person lands, and I guess like the one positive note they tried to give us, so what happened to Amos was that he died in, was that in 7? I think so, right? He died in 8, not in, I think so, yeah, he died in 8, and then they resurrected him with the, or like, the drones that were on that planet, Laconia. There were some drones that they never knew really what they were, and they just let them do. And so those drones, they were looking for like living or dead tissue, I guess, and they were repaired. They also called them repair drones. So he was basically reanimated with the proto-molecule and bonded with it in a weird way. So he was like undead. So he was then there to welcome this guy to Earth and like saying, yeah, welcome to Earth, let's have a drink. Like, I guess that was the positive note, but it's like 9 books. We struggled and we had the ultimate super alien that can wipe you out with just the blink of an eye. Once it figured out how to do it, like it took it time because we were different from the proto-molecule aliens, so you didn't at first know how to kill us. And we overcome all that, we lose James, only to find out that everything went to shits everywhere, anyone died, and Soul is fucked, and everyone's fucked, and yay, but let's have a drink. So, oh, that really hurt. It was too bitter for me and such a sour taste for the ending of this awesome series. So I will still hold on to that. It was an awesome series, and it literally was the last couple of pages in this book that just turned everything sour for me. So, because up until that point, like I said, reading Tanaka was interesting. Even, as I said, having James do the crazy thing that he does with injecting himself with the proto-molecule, like, and basically I knew that means goodbye, James. Even that, I could, yeah, like, I was still on board and it was interesting and I wanted to know more. But then that ending, I was just, it just like seemed to like go, oh, okay, James is gonna die. Oh, okay, James has to be the one that lost the machine. Oh, okay, we're gonna lose all the ring. Like it just kept going down. Oh, okay, we take 500 years to even find Dwart. Like all those things, like it was tiny things that in and of itself weren't that bad, but yeah, and then that epilogue, and I was just like, fuck. Okay, I think I talked way too long. I'm gonna leave it here. No more spoilers, we're done. If you watched that, good job, because I hope I didn't rant too much. I hope not. I don't like to be a ranter. So anyhow, all in all, what an October. I have, how many books is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the one that I have only literally 7 books. That was very productive October. I'm very happy with that. Yay, here they are. So I hope you enjoy even my crazy start. Why not? Maybe I'll do it again, maybe not. I'm not so sure. It's so weird and like so fascinating seeing myself with all this makeup and lips. I never have lipstick on, never. So it's yeah, different. But anyhow. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you're reading and enjoying your time. Maybe you have some good October recommendations. Let me know. And otherwise, enjoy and I'll see you next time. Bye.